guys! So in today's video, I'm going to be quickly showing how I like to make red bean bread at home. And for the longest time, I always thought that Asian bakery taste and like that TNT, bakery taste was only attainable by going to the stores and like buying those Asian style breads. But in the beginning of quarantine, that wasn't possible. So I started looking at some recipes and I realized that it was quite doable. And after doing it a couple times and experimenting, I totally think that if you want to make it, you can make it too. And it's something that I'm going to continue making for a long time just because it's delicious and it's quite light and relatively healthy. So it's something that can be enjoyed every day. And making it is quite fun too. So enjoy! So the first step is to just begin like boiling some red beans for the filling. I just put like about a cup of red beans in some water. And I had let these beans soak overnight, so they were super easy to boil until soft. I think it only took 30 to 40 minutes. And then after they were soft, I just added my sugar and then let the water sort of evaporate until it was sort of a pasty mixture. And then I mashed all the beans up and then also let that cool down in the fridge. And then here I'm making the Tangzhong mixture, which is just water, milk, and flour. And this is really going to help the bread sort of retain more moisture and stay fresh longer. And after stirring for like less than a minute, it's going to turn into like this clumpy sort of smooth paste. And then you're going to refrigerate that, put that into a separate bowl. And then here I'm measuring out my milk, and I'm just going to heat it up in the microwave for like 2 intervals of 25 seconds so that the yeast can bloom. And then because I'm using dry active yeast, I'm just adding some sugar so the yeast has something to eat while it blooms. And then I'm gonna just let this mixture sit for around 10 minutes once it starts sort of appearing a little bubbly on top. And then after it's all bloomed, I'm just adding in my melted butter as well as an egg that I've let come to room temp. And here's my attempt at cracking it with one hand. I gave up quickly, resorted to the two-hand method. But yeah, that's the skill I gotta learn. And then here I'm adding in the cooled Tangzhong and then just sort of like mixing it in, mixing all the stuff into the milk. And then here are my dry ingredients, so just flour, sugar, and a little bit of salt. And then in goes my wet ingredients. Okay, and you can see that it forms like a very wet dough. If you're experienced with your doughs, you know that she's a wet one. And yeah, I actually added like more flour afterwards just so it was kneadable because it was like really sticking to my hands, as you can see. And then that's totally something that you should sort of judge and do as well. But you do have to kind of be careful with this one because it's important that the dough is on the wetter side just so your bread turns out nice and not dry. And then here I'm just kneading it. You want to knead this dough for a total of about 20 minutes. Quite the arm workout, but it's worth it. But you'll get this like nice, shiny, smooth ball by the end. And I'm just oiling mine up in a nice clean bowl and then letting it rise in my oven for about 1 hour. You don't have to put it in the oven. I'm not patient. And as you can see, it's quite big now and I'm just de-airing it. One of my favorite parts of bread making. And then I divided my dough into about thirds, made them into a nice sheet, rolled it up, cut it into 8 even pieces actually. And then you're going to want to let that rise for another 45. And then go ahead and make an egg wash, just 1 egg and a little bit of milk. And then brush it on top. And this step is actually really important. It really helps with the overall appearance of your buns. It's going to give it that nice like brown, shiny appearance. And to the side, you can see some of my failed attempts that I tried to braid. Didn't really work out, but still tasted good. So here they are after they were baked in the oven at 350. And to be honest, I kind of overbaked these a tiny smidge. But they were still really good and nice and brown. And yeah, here's what they looked like. They were delicious, didn't last that long. Great breakfast item. But yeah, they can be stored, not one of those baked goods you have to worry about going bad.